Hi guys, I'm back today with another tutorial. I'm back to answer some more questions and to show you guys some more makeup tips. I'm wearing this blouse I got from PLT. I don't even think they have this anymore. It's just such a beautiful blouse. I love it. Look at the sleeves. It's just gorgeous. And this bra by Bettie Page. I don't know if I can show you the whole bra. I'm trying to keep this YouTube appropriate. You have to go on my Instagram to see more inappropriate things. So last time I was wearing my my pink bonnet, and this time I'm wearing my black one. Black isn't available yet. I'm working on it. The black one will be for washing your hair still. It's just, it'll be black, so it's easier to keep and manage. I'm starting off with my eyeshadow primer here. I use a lighter color. I always do because of my highlighting and everything like that. So I just tend to use a lighter color just to match the highlighting that I'm going to do around my face. It's a look that I've done for one of my photos before. I'm using the Juvias Place palette. So I'm going to start with this color right here. I don't exactly want to say certain ways I got in because I just don't think that's safe anymore. You know, it wasn't really safe back then. That was about, how old am I now? I am 31. So I think when I started modeling I was around 18. I couldn't break into modeling. I just couldn't do it. I tried. You know, I tried every agency that I could. I'm not going to say what website I used, but I ended up using a website for like networking with photographers and things like that. And at the time it just sounded like a wonderful idea. You know, I tried every agency and I just could not get a call back. Nobody was really interested, and one of the reasons why, probably the main reason why, was because I was too little. I am 5'1", if that. I'm about 5 feet tall. I say 5'1" because it sounds better. I'm about 5 feet tall. I want to use this color here. And I didn't have a body type that they were really looking for also. I was very petite and I had large breasts. You know, that's not exactly what agencies were looking for at the time. Maybe now. You know, so many things have changed now. A lot of agencies and brands are trying to be a lot more inclusive with different body types. Not everybody looks the same, you know, but at the time that was not going on. You had to look like a model, which was being petite all over and very tall or whatever. So I ended up on this networking site for modeling. And things were good. I met a lot of great photographers, but sadly most of the photographers that I met were just awful. Totally took advantage of me being very naive and not understanding that, you know, I had to pave my own way. That was not going to work for me. I was too little. But of course I had photographers telling me, you know, oh, I can do this, I can get you in that, and it never really worked out. I didn't really fit in anywhere. So I'm going to put this underneath my eye too. And I tried to model for, you know, the curvy girl magazines too. What would you call them? You know, the booty magazines too, but that did not work out for me because I was too skinny. So it's like I didn't fit in anywhere. So, you know, I was trying to find my own way. A lot of people in that world, they're going to take advantage of the fact that you don't know any better and you're just trying to make it. So many things went wrong with that. My pictures were taken and used for things that I didn't consent to because I wasn't smart enough or aware enough at the time to make sure you get consent. Make sure you sign things to say, listen, don't use my images for this or that. I didn't know any of that. The last shoots I did, I never got my images. And I was just exhausted with the whole modeling thing of trying to make it. You know, so many other things happened in between that time. Just too many stories for me to tell right now. But that was one of the last shoots that I did. Using my tip from last time about, you know, using old mascara to, you know, fill your eyebrows in a little bit. One of my last shoots, I worked really hard for. because at the time I didn't have much money. I didn't have a lot, you know, so I was just trying to come up with ideas that were cost effective for me. I'm in my living room today, so if you guys see my kitchen, that's my kitchen back there. So yes, at the time, one of my last shoots, I worked really, really hard. The photo shoot was in the city. I can't remember which street it was on now, but he had a studio in the city. So this is why I worked really, really hard. Like, this was one of the first photographers I had worked with that had his own studio. Back then also, you had a lot of photographers that would call themselves studio this and studio that, and there was no studio. Which is fine, you know, some photographers work out of their homes and things like that, but I realized that quickly that there wasn't really a studio. Sometimes it would just be someone's home, someone's basement. This was the first photographer I had worked with that had his own studio, so I was so super excited to go. And I finally got there, and I walked in. It was this huge, beautiful studio. It was so pretty. I think I'm going to do my foundation now. I think I'm done with my eyes. I'm going to do something soft, so I'm done now. Okay, so I'm finished my foundation. So I always do my foundation a slightly different shade than the rest of my body here. It'll all come together, you'll see. I have hyperpigmentation, and my face is a lot darker than the rest of my body, so I always just use a different color on my face. But once I finish, you'll see that it all blends together once I'm finished. So everything was laid out. He had a beautiful studio. It was gorgeous. And he had some tea made, which I didn't drink. One of my rules when I would go on my shoots, one of the rules were I would never eat or drink, just in case.
How do you like your coffee?
Alone.
You know, you really didn't know who you were meeting up with 100%. You know, that's why I said I'm not giving away which site I use, because I don't want to promote that. I don't think it's safe. I don't think you should be using that to model. Sorry. I think you should be going through an agency or maybe someone that you trust to book your shoots. I just don't trust it anymore. I think that back then I shouldn't have even trusted it, but back then I was chasing a dream. So maybe it's that I'm a mother now and I have my daughter, just everything concerns me. And he had some tea made, which I didn't drink, and he asked me for my portfolio. And I said, well, I don't have it with me. He's like, but, you know, you're coming to a shoot. And I'm like, well, you know, I basically told him, like, I wasn't used to professional modeling. I was used to modeling, you know, booking my shoots online. So I really didn't, you know, carry myself as a professional model, which, you know, honestly, I shouldn't have been doing. But thinking back, I feel like that question was asked purposely. The shoot started and it was going okay, and he started making fun of me, making me feel bad about myself. At the time I would wear my hair really, really big. I loved big hair. This is concealer. This is how I do part of my highlighting. So this is my process. The shoot started. He started making me feel like crap. He started making fun of my hair, about how ridiculous I looked, and it made me feel so bad, you know, like, you know, I feel like there's nothing wrong with saying, listen, like, your hair is a little too big. I wonder if I can find a photo from back then. If I find a photo, I will put it on the side here, maybe up here. But I used to wear my hair really, really big. And he started making me feel like crap, you know, about my hair and how insane I looked. Like, I looked ridiculous. And, you know, it's making me sad. And he's like, you know what? You should just take the wig off. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take my wig off because my hair is not done underneath here and I don't feel comfortable. You know, so I'm going to leave my wig on. He kept saying, oh, the wig needs to come off. You should take it off.
But surely you think I'm giving good advice.
No.
And it went from that to, you know, it's just too much clothes that you're wearing. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, these are the clothes that I picked out. I think I totally destroyed my contour line here. I'm gonna have to go back over it, but that's okay. And I told him I didn't care. These are the clothes that I picked out, and this is what I wanted to do. I got tired of being bullied by photographers. You know, one of the things I forgot to mention or failed to mention was that when I started modeling, I wanted to do fashion. I've always loved fashion, and you know, I didn't get an opportunity to do it much because photographers only wanted to photograph me in lingerie. I didn't really get a chance to show people my my fashion sense because my photographers wouldn't let me, you know. And so I started feeling like, you know what, I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to shoot what I want to shoot, and it is what it is. And so that day I stood up for myself, and I said, no way. No, these are the clothes I picked out. This is what I want to do. This is what I came here for. So I'm not taking my clothes off. These are the photos that I'm doing. And, you know, he kept hassling me over and over and over again. I kept telling him, no, I'm not going to do it. I stood up for myself. I'm very proud of myself for that. And I left the shoot, you know, very unhappy. He seemed unhappy. I seemed unhappy. He told me he had my photos in a week, and that was it. I went home. And about 3 days passed, and I just said, hey, you know, do you have maybe some of the images ready? Because I was so excited to see them. And he's like, no, sorry, not yet. So 5 days passed. I asked again. Told me not yet. So a week and a half passed. Again, I texted him and he said, no, not yet. And that's when I started to realize that I was not getting my images. He was angry at me for not, you know, listening, I suppose. You know, I didn't do what he asked. So therefore, my punishment was that I would not get my images. And it really just destroyed me emotionally, that I really wanted this shoot to happen. And I never got my images, never heard back from him. You know, it really hurt me. And I just said, you know what, I'm done. This is it. I'm tired. I'm tired of dealing with photographers who don't take me seriously, don't respect my time. So many other things happen that I'm just not going to bring it right now. Other videos, I'll mention them. At this time, too, things were changing with social media. The whole influencer era was coming in. And I started thinking about that. I'm going to go across. I told you it would come together. I'm going to go across my highlighting with a little bit of powder here. This is the color that I use. It looks lighter than it is. I usually put some here, right across my forehead here, and down the bridge of my nose. Okay, sorry about that. So the influencer era was here, and I started thinking to myself, why don't I just do that? I'll take my images myself. It ain't gonna be easy, but I'll have full control over my images. I get to get all my images. I don't have to worry about someone saying, oh no, you're wearing too much clothing. I get to shoot what I want to shoot. And that's when everything started for me on my new modeling journey, rather than that one where I spent years, at least, I don't know, 6 years, 7 years, just getting nowhere in that world. I'm more successful now shooting my own images than I was back then with someone else shooting my work. It was just very difficult for me. And I'm in a much happier place now. I get to choose what I want to do. I love having that control and that freedom and put my own work out there, you know. So that's what started me on my new modeling journey. That was my old journey. You know, that last shoot that I did with a professional photographer, it just really scarred me that I haven't shot with anyone since. It's really difficult for me to think about it, you know, to shoot with someone, because so many bad things happened to me back then that now I just don't trust photographers, I guess. And not all of them, because I've met some really great photographers who I'm still friends with today, and they're wonderful. But out of, let's say, 100 that I met, I think 90 of them were horrible. So I'm going to blend this out. With these bonnets, they're so pretty. They're just not meant for makeup. I recommend you wash your hair with them, and then that's it. Don't be like me. I'm obsessed with them. They're so pretty. I love wearing them for like any reason that I can wear them. I wear them. I just got this. This is by LA Girl Pro Contour Powder. Not using this color right there on the sides like that. Try to get my line back. I like to do lines like far down here, like just super strong jawline. Not jawline. Contour line. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I love it. Also, I'm gonna put it around my forehead here. The contour, the darker contour powder, putting that around my forehead here. I have two separate modeling journeys. That was my first one, and that was my second. You know, continuing on into what worked for me and what made me happy. And even that's been a journey, and that'll have to be for a separate video. But I found, you know, what I love doing my own thing. I had to make my own world. I could not model in that world, so I had to make my own world to model in. And, you know, I love that that opened up. So many people have so many opinions about influencers and this whole influencer thing, and so do I, you know, but that's what helped me get to where I am now, as being an influencer. And it opened so many doors for me that were closed at the time. You know, nobody saw my work. It was what it was because I couldn't get into magazines. Now I have my own magazine. My Instagram is my magazine, you know. So, and I actually did get in a magazine. So, and I got in a magazine, an actual magazine, from Instagram, from being an influencer. So, you know, we all have our opinions about influencers and, you know, all that stuff, but that's what saved me, honestly. Being able to create my own world and do my own thing. So, that is my modeling journey and how I got into modeling, both sort of into modeling. When it comes to runways and stuff, I never made it that far, but that's my journey. So when I had my daughter, it was not easy. That's another topic for another time. It was a shock to the system. Like, I'm having a baby and I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do, but here I am. And after I had my daughter, it was kind of difficult, you know, not being able to, you know, just take photos like before. I now had to plan them. Everything had to be planned, you know, around her naps, around feeding time. Of course, I had help. I always say I'm one of the lucky moms because my family stepped in. You know, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what to do. So my family had to step in now and show me what to do and teach me what to do. And they were there for me. I think if I didn't have them, I don't know where I'd be, in a ditch somewhere or something, because it was just, like I said, a shock to the system. It was so just new to me to be a mother. And now trying to be an influencer at the same time, you know, at first I tried to take so many photos with her and have her join in my photos and all that good stuff. And I found out that as a mother, that did not work for me. I didn't enjoy it. I was aggravated, you know, with her crying, and because she was aggravated, you know. Babies are babies. That's just my opinion. I don't think that babies need to be, how do I phrase this without insulting anyone? Any influencer out there who is like this, who takes photos with their kids all day. I didn't want to use my daughter as a prop. She's not a prop. She's a baby. And I wasn't. I never felt that way. I just loved taking photos with her. But I realized how aggravated she would be, and I just stopped. You know, it didn't make sense to have her like that, to have her aggravated for a photo for Instagram, you know, because at the end of the day, when your baby's aggravated and crying, right, are your followers going to be there to come and pick her up and console her? No, you're going to have to do it. And that's when I had to make a choice. Like, either, you know, I continue on this journey and just separate the two, you know, and feel more relaxed being a mom, or I continue on this journey making people happy who have nothing to do with my family. You know, they're not helping me, they're not stepping in. So after a while, it started to taper off. I stopped posting her all the time. She wasn't in many of my fashion posts anymore. Okay, now I have to let my mascara dry. I'm using this beautiful fan I got from Sephora. Isn't it gorgeous? I'll link it down below. It's just beautiful. My first time using these eyelashes, so I hope they look okay. You know, I think it's about finding your style as a mom and what works for you when it comes to being an influencer. Some people like to incorporate their babies into their shoots, and that's fine. You know, it's just, for me, my opinion. You know, sometimes I take photos at Maddie's. Most of the time I don't. Sometimes I don't have it in me for the day. So, you know, if you're the kind of mom and you feel bad about, you know, not incorporating your child into your shoots, don't. You know, Maggie's comfortable being Maggie. And now my daughter loves a camera. So I'm thinking about now I can start to incorporate her more. Because she'll stand there and she'll pose. When she was younger, she hated it. I need a whole nother video to explain that. But I just lay down the basics. I use a self timer. I set my own timer to whatever I am doing. If I feel like it'll take me a while to pose for a certain shoot, then I'll set it at 20 seconds. Okay, so now I'm going to do my my blush. Because of my skin tone, I feel like it makes my skin tone pop. Look at that. Isn't it pretty? Look at that. Wow. It's just, I feel like it's beautiful. There's it's so much information that I have to give, and I have to do it in an entirely separate video. And I just go along it like that. Lightly. That's it. That's all I use to contour my nose. That's it. I usually just use any sort of basic lip liner. Anything basic will do. I think I get mine from like the regular beauty supply store. And I'm going to be using the Tom Ford lipstick. This color is called fucking Fabulous, because that's literally what it is. It's just, it's beautiful. I love it. So now I'm gonna complete my look. So I'm doing a look like Bettie Page. If you don't know who Bettie Page is, then we can't be friends. No, I'm kidding. We can be friends, but not good friends. So I get a lot of questions about how to curl my wigs. Again, I need a whole separate video for that. But basically, I curl it like how you would curl your own hair, just in pin curls. I pin curl it, and most of the work that I do is with my own brush and spray. Oh, you curl it how you want with your brush. You take your brush, and you're gonna curl it like that. Curl it under. So you're gonna brush the curls, the pin curls out. You brush them out. That's how I do my wigs. Just brush them out. I'm using a Mason Pearson brush right now for this wig. I really like them from my wigs. And brush the curls under like that. And normally I would take my my stiff spray, my Gotta Be cold spray, and just spray the ends so that way it'll stay. So as I'm, you know, doing my photos, it'll stay curled under instead of falling out of place. It's not going to stay perfectly right now because I don't have my spray on it, but that's normally what I do to get my curls to stay in place for pictures and things like that. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for joining me for another YouTube video. I hope you guys come back and watch more of me. I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable with the whole YouTube thing. So I'll get better. I promise. I'll get better. I'll get better. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get better. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye-bye.